Welcome back. Now we are going to look at the factors that disrupt a balanced ecosystem. When resources are limited, organisms compete for them. So when they are limited, organisms compete for them, and they may lead to an imbalance in the ecosystem, which causes the fittest to survive, and then the balance will be disrupted. So that is the first thing that causes an imbalance in the ecosystem, when resources are limited and then organisms fight for them and are only gotten or are received by the strongest one. So an organism can only accommodate, an ecosystem rather, can only accommodate as many organisms as its resources. We spoke about this in the previous slide. So no ecosystem can carry more organisms than its resources. As you can see in this picture, we have different organisms. We also have resources that are able to feed and give shelter to these organisms. So this ecosystem has the capacity to carry enough organisms that will be fed and sheltered by their resources or their resources in that ecosystem. If organisms are more than the resources in the environment, then the ecosystem will be imbalanced. So we have two types of factors that affect or cause a disruption in the balance of the ecosystem, and these are natural and human factors. So we are going to go to natural factors. Natural factors include extreme changes in weather patterns and climate. So these are droughts, floods, and extreme temperatures. We are going to start by looking at droughts. Droughts occur when there is little or no rain for a long period of time. They cause a loss of habitat and biodiversity. So when there's no rain, that means there will be less producers. That means there won't be food and there won't be habitat for some organisms. During the dry season, the grass will also struggle to grow, obviously because there's no water. There will be no food for grazers, and they will either die or migrate during droughts. Luckily, an ecosystem can recover quickly when it rains again. So the picture here that you can see, it is an area that is experiencing drought. As you can see, we don't have a lot of vegetation because there hasn't been much rain, and as a result, plants cannot photosynthesize and grow. Now we are also going to look at floods. So floods refer to the rising and overflowing of water, especially onto normally dry areas. So when we have excessive rain and then the water overflows, floods can put a strain on community because now animals can drown, water will be contaminated, and lead to diseases. So that is the effect of drought in our communities or ecosystems. All of these can disrupt the balance in the ecosystem because some organisms are going to be wiped out and die, which will then lead to the imbalance. Then we are looking at the third one, which is extreme and sudden changes in temperature. They also play a role in disrupting the balance in the ecosystem. In what way? When we have extremely high temperatures, this can cause a loss of water in plants and animals. They will be dehydrated. Or when we have extremely low temperatures, this can cause animals to move to warmer areas. That means some animals are going to leave that area, and then some will die, which contributes to the disruption of the balance in the ecosystem. So those are the three natural factors that affect the balance in the ecosystem. Now we are going to look at human factors that disrupt the balance in our ecosystem. Humans negatively influence ecosystems in a number of ways. That is why we call these human factors. These include deforestation, pollution, and poaching. Now we are going to jump to the first one, which is deforestation, as you can see in this picture. Deforestation refers to the cutting down of trees. If you can see, this man is cutting the tree, and the trees or the logs are being loaded onto the truck. So this destroys habitats for different animals. So if the trees are cut down, then a lot of animals are losing their homes or their habitat, and increases the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. If you remember, trees produce oxygen during photosynthesis. So if we cut them down, we are increasing carbon dioxide. This means habitat of animals are cleared during deforestation to make space for farming, for building houses and factories. So that is how human beings play a major role in causing an imbalance in the ecosystem. You can see that picture is an industrial site. Obviously, they have already taken away the trees and they are preparing to build something. Right, the second one is pollution. This refers to the harm done when toxic substances and materials are released into the environment. So releasing toxic substances to water bodies kills aquatic plants and animals. As you can see here, we have material that has been dumped into the water, which obviously will affect these plants and also the animals that live in the water. Water, air, and soil pollution destroys animal habitat, just like we have already discussed. The second one is poaching. So when we are speaking of poaching, this is the illegal removal of plants and animals from their natural habitat. Poachers are people that kill animals and sell their body parts. For example, we have rhinos. Rhinos are killed for their horns and are illegally sold for medicinal use, and this could lead to the decrease in biodiversity. As you can see a picture of a rhino, and also this is what they are normally being killed for, which is their horns. So we are going to end here for today. I hope you had a lovely time during this lesson, and I'll see you next time.